Okay, so we brought the logo in from the art package. Okay, we have it a circle that we're going to use to create a clipping mask to put the logo inside that circle so that we can get rid of some of the dirt that's around the outside of the logo. We just want it either to the white or to the teal section of the logo itself. So I'm going to turn off the smart guides and the snaps so that I can position it exactly where I want it and bump it into place here and try to line it up so that the red line is right either to the outside of the white area that we have there with a little bit of the teal showing. It looks like it's just about on the white perfect. So right about there looks pretty good. We have all that garbage on the outside of the red line. Okay, I'm going to take the circle that we have and reshape that just a little bit to get it in onto the right on the edge of the white that we're using for this logo. Okay, and we're going to clip it, thus the term clipping mask. We're going to clip it and we're going to clip all that junk on the outside out and hide it within the mask. And to do that, you select the red circle, which is on top of the logo, and then you hold shift and select the logo, and then under object, come down to clipping mask and make. Okay. And when you do that, it clips the logo in, and now we have the logo on top of the white. Now you can see that there's a little bit of the teal showing, and we don't want that with this. If we weren't going to use this white background, that'd be fine. Okay, but we're using a white background on it, so we need to adjust the clipping mask just a little bit. So I'm going to undo it, and I'm going to bring the circle part, the red circle, in just a little bit more. I'm going to hold Alt and Shift and bring it in so that all I'm getting is a perfect circle with the white showing and no teal around the outside. So we have that now. We can select the logo again, object, clipping mask, and make. And now we have it so that there's a white rule going around and it looks like it's part of that background that we added in there as a white block behind it. Okay. So that's using a clipping mask to cut down that logo. We also did a clipping mask on the inside with this shape or with this graphic that we had here. Okay. And the way that one was done, I'm going to select it and I'm going to go to object, clipping mask, and release it. We have a little bit of, there we go. I'm going to pull that out and make it red. Where's my swatches? There we go. And I'm making it red just so it's easy to see. That's all. The outline of it. Okay. And this shape was created by using the Pathfinder. Okay. I have some extra shapes in here as well around the top of that because this wasn't perfect when we created it. So we did a little bit of a fix up on it. But on this one, we're going to make it perfect. Okay. So I'm going to delete these shapes. And you see how we have the graphic with a white background on it. And we want to get rid of that white background. So we made this shape to use as a clipping mask. And how did we come about that shape? Well, the same way that we did the South Park heads. Okay, that's why it's vital that that South Park project is a vital project to everything. It's the foundation for everything we do in the course. So I'm going to bring down a guide and put it right at the top of the circle, the first circle, and bring in a guide and put it at the side of the first circle. And that should give us everything we need to know to make a perfect circle right over the top of that ball for advocating. So I'm going to click on the rule or the stroke box, and we want to make it red. And we want to take the ellipse tool and put it right in the crosshairs, hold down shift and pull down into the right to make a circle that encompasses the entire green or teal ball that is in the first part of that graphic. Now you can see a little bit of white around the outside. So that means we have to reshape the ball a little bit to make it come inside the inside that logo so that we're not getting any of that white. Okay, now we're good. We have it all the way around. This side we're out a little bit too far, so we got to come back out over here just to make sure we're getting all of that ball in there. Okay, so now the entire ball is inside. So that's fine. And now we need to complete the rest of the shape. Remember, we're trying to create this shape, which is exactly like the shape you created when we were working with the Pathfinder exercises to create the little ripples in the water as the last part of the exercise. Okay, so here we have the red circle. We're going to take that red circle and click on it and hold Option and Shift and drag to the right, and that'll make a duplicate. So we're putting one around Celebrate. We're doing the same thing around Educate. We're selecting the object, holding Option and Shift, and coming over and putting one around Educate. And then we're doing the exact same thing to Elevate. We're going to, I went too far. There we go. We're going to take the red ball, duplicate it by holding Shift and Option and dragging it across and lining it up on Elevate. So now we have 4 balls, 4 circles. Okay. That doesn't help us yet. We're working to get this shape up here. Okay. So we select each of the red balls or the red circles. Okay. We have them all selected by holding Shift and selecting multiple images. And then we go to Window, Pathfinder, and open up the Pathfinder. And we're going to use the Unite tool. We'll click on that, and that unites all the circles, and that gives us the shape we need to create this clipping mask. Okay. And again, the clipping mask is made the same way. We click on the red outline, we click on the graphic, and then go to Object, Clipping Mask Make, and our graphic is inside the clipping mask and the white is all gone. Okay. So that's how we did it for this graphic. This photo is actually inside a clipping mask. I'm going to unclip it just to show you. Clipping mask release. And that's what that original photo looked like. Then we drew a square around it, selected the square and the photo, and created the clipping mask. So I'm going to redo that. Undo release. There we go. All right, so it's back. All right, now you'll see also one of the other things that we worked on. Those are 2 things that we worked on so far with this project that you'll need for your personal project. There's 2 more. Okay, the first one's pretty easy. It's we took this photo, and as I just showed you, I'll do it actually with this photo over here. We'll use this one and we'll bump it in. Okay. This, we're going to go text wrap release. There we go. And we have this photo, and we're going to move it over into the paragraph. But we'll say that we want it to go into the paragraph at that particular spot and have the paragraph run around it, wrap around the image. Okay. To do that, we use something called a text wrap. And to do a text wrap, first thing you need is text. So we have text in here that we ran. Okay. And then we brought a photo in and put it over the top of the text. All right. So the next step is to put what's called a text wrap on this image. And that's under Object. We come down to Text Wrap. And the text wrap options are right here. Okay. You click on that, and it gives you a box that says offset. And what offset is, it's the distance If you look at this photo, the distance between this photo and that text is a 6-point offset. Okay. Here you'll see that the text is running behind the image. Okay. But we want to put a 6-point offset onto this image. Once you set your offset, you click OK. And now that tells the computer that when you come down and you do a text wrap and you're selected on your image and you select text wrap and make, it puts that 6-point rule around the entire image. It's not really a rule, it's a space, and the text flows completely around the image. Okay. Now I'm going to undo that real quick. And I want you to look at two different things when we hit the text wrap this time. Right now, look at where the text is over here on this document. Okay. I'm going to actually pull a guide down so you can see where the text ends on the document. Okay. Now, because we have this text linked, okay, this all came in one text box. Okay. Let me zoom out so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. When we brought this text in, we made it came in one text box right here. And the text box was this long. Now, that doesn't do us any good here because we need to get this text to come up to this side of the brochure and start to run down this column over here on this side. So the way that we do that is we shortened up to our margin. And you'll see how the text flows automatically over to here. That it doesn't do that without us doing something first. Okay. When you look at this text, when we click on it here, you'll see, I'm going to shorten it up on this side because we have to look at it over here actually. Okay. When I shorten that up, there's more text underneath this area here, but I'm shortening it up to here to show you this box. And that box is a square with it's a red square with a plus sign in. That's telling you there's more text in this block that we're looking at, but you can't see it because your text block is short. Okay. You need more room in the text block. So we're going to move it down to here. And then that block will go away and it just becomes a white block. All right. Now, the way that you make text go from one block to another, I'll show you how to do it right now. Okay. Using the square with the plus sign in it. Okay. We're going to take this text and we're going to make it run over here. It's going to run off the page, obviously. So we wouldn't actually do this, but we can undo it after. I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. We click on the text. We go out and get our black arrow. Click on the box that has the plus sign in it, and you'll get a little cursor that looks like a corner and a bunch of lines coming across the cursor. Okay. It's supposed to mimic type on a page. And you click on there and draw your text box over here. And now the text that's down below this box that you can't see anymore will automatically flow over to this text box that we just made. Okay. So you click on the X, make a text box, and it'll flow right over to there. Obviously, we want it to remain on our page. So I'm going to edit undo the link and so on so that we have all our text. And I'm not going to jump it. I'm going to come over here and click on the text box and make it long enough so you can see where it ends. Okay. Now we're talking about the wraparound or the text wrap. We're going to click on our image, which is in front of our text, go to object, come down to text wrap and make. And remember, we have a 6-point buffer between the photo on the right, the left, top, and bottom. And we'll click on make, and it puts that buffer in there. And now look what it did to the text. On this side, the text used to end right here, but now it got pushed down because it's linked. It saves you the work of going in and have to like move all these lines to the right and then put another block here, put another block over here. Okay. And then it would take you a long time to do that, where now it just flows around the image because the image has a text wrap on it. And this is all one block of type. Okay. Now the same thing's happening over here on the guitar. When I click on it, you can see there's space around the guitar, and that's a text wrap on a graphic. Okay. It's that same pixel or 6-point text wrap that's on that graphic. We could take that graphic out of the picture, okay, and move it over here, move it away, and now the type flows back to it's almost back to where it was, taking up the same amount of space as before this photo is in there. But when you add, when you add this image back in, it's going to push the text around that image, and it's going to make it a little bit longer, but it will go around your image, and it looks pretty cool the way that it wraps around there, and it does it without too much work or effort. Okay. So that's how to do a text wrap. It's how to link text. It's how to make a clipping mask to make your graphic with no white background. And there's one last thing we want to look at, and that's how to create a chart that looks like this, where we have names on the left, we have positions on the right, and then we have leaders in here that are dots connecting the two pieces together to make a pretty nice little chart. I'm going to pull the chart out, put it over here, and hopefully I still have it over here in my text, which I think I do. And we're going to bring it in, and I'm going to demonstrate that, and then you should be all caught up. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of my text that I need, and I just need from board of directors down to at-large representative. Okay, so I'm going to copy that, edit, copy, and I'm just going to paste it over here in a text block. There we go. So now we have our board of directors in there. All right. Now we want this to be centered, so we can highlight that, and we can go to our window down to type and go to paragraph and tell it to center that piece. So it is. Okay. We also want that text to be white. So we'll go to our swatches, make it white. And we want it to be a little thicker because it's a header, like testimonials, and like down here, like mission statement. Okay. In order to get it to be the exact same size and weight as, we'll say, up here, testimonials, we could look at testimonials and see what size it is. Okay, we go in there and we can see in our character that it's 11 point on 12 point, and it's myriad variable concept black. Okay, we can go in here and highlight this and try to remember all of that, or you could just select your eyedropper and select the word board of directors, select your eyedropper, and then click on the word testimonials with the eyedropper, and it will take all of the variables from testimonials and put it into the text of board of directors. And now you'll see we have the exact same style, the exact same size, the exact same font, and same weight for that. So that's how you keep things consistent within your brochure. All right. Or your book, or whatever you're working on. If it's a book, you would want to do something called layer styles, but that's much more advanced, and we're not going to get into layer styles. We're only doing 4 pages for this brochure, so we want it to be we can do it using the eyedropper to keep things consistent. Okay. The last thing we're going to look at is how to create that chart using this text. You'll see that this text has it has little blue return marks in it. Okay. And if I zoom in, it also has little blue dots between every word. It's because we're looking at something called the hidden characters. And it's the characters you don't see. Typically, they won't print, And when you bring type in, you typically don't see them unless you won't see them until you turn on show hidden characters. But if you turn it off, it looks just like that. Okay. But we want to see those hidden characters. So we're going to go to type and show hidden characters, and it shows where every hard return is in here, and it shows all the spaces between the words. All right. So what we want to do is we want to create a chart using something called tabs. And a tab is something that's on your keyboard. It's above caps lock. And what it does is it moves your text the distance that's set in the tab. Okay, so this is just the default distance. I highlighted the space. I don't want that space. I'm going to put a tab in instead. I click on the tab key, and you'll see you get two little greater than arrows pointing to the right, and it puts a little space between Lee Thomas, Miller, and President. Okay, I put it in the wrong spot, actually. Let me put that space back in there. It should go between the last name of the person and the word and their title. So I'll put the tab in there. Okay, that means tab right there with the two arrows. We want to do that all the way down. Behind Jen Schott, we want to put in a tab for vice president. Behind Steve Bogard, we'll put one in before treasurer, one before legislative chair, one before industry liaison, one before secretary, one before sergeant at arms, and so on as we go down the list. Okay, so that still doesn't give us that nice looking chart that we had in there before. I'm going to zoom out so we can see that, to take a look at it, to see what we're going to be doing. I'm going to pull it over here and put it right here so we can see them side by side. Okay, there's the one, there's the chart, there's the one that's yet to be a chart. We want this text to be white, so we can take it, we can highlight all the text and click on white to make it white. Okay, there we go. So now we have the text white. All that's left is getting it to be flush to the right with these words, flush to the left with these words, and put the leader in between it, okay, in order to connect them, to bring them together. To do that, we go to the type menu, or I'm sorry, to Windows, and come down to type, and come down to something called tabs. And when you open that up, you get a little ruler at the top. And we're going to bring that right over and place it above our document so that we can see what we're doing when we're making our tabs. Okay, I'm going to make the ruler a little bit bigger. All right. And I'm just placing it above to be able to see it. And these are your tabs up here. This one's left justified tab. That means everything would be justified to the left that we're looking to move. This one's for centered. This one's justified right. And this one is decimal justified. I have to be honest, I've never used decimal justified, so I'm not sure what that does. I'll have to look at it sometime. But for our purposes, we want to make this chart over here. So we want to select our chart and select the right justified tab, and we're going to pull it down into that little gutter. Here's the ruler, and then here's a little gutter above the ruler, and then here's your tab. So we're going to pull it down and put it right in the gutter, and you'll see that it makes a little blue tab in the gutter. And now we can grab that and slide it to the right, and you see there's a line moving there as well. And as we slide it to the right, we can take it over, and you'll see that it's lining, everything's lining up to the right. I went a little too far. I have to bring it back. There we go. And now everything is lined up all the way to the right. The names on the left are tabs, and then the positions on, or the titles on the right. Now, what we still don't have are the little dots going across. Those are called leaders. And you'll see a little box here in the tab ruler that says leaders. We'll click in there, and you can put in there whatever you want. Okay. If we want to make it the little periods there, we can put in a period, and it makes periods. Okay. If you want it to be periods, but ones that are spaced out a little bit more, that you don't get as many dots, you click on period and hit the shift key, and you'll see, or not shift, the space key, and it puts a space in, and now there's less dots here than there are over here. Okay. You could put anything in there. You could put the greater than arrow in there if you want to. And it gives you greater than arrows all the way across. That doesn't look very good, but you can do it. You can do the option and the 8 key, which gives you the balls in between, and you can put balls in between there. If you want less, you can put a period in there, and you get little balls going across with this with more space in between. So you can literally put anything in there that you want. I'm just going to put in a period and a space and leave it at that. And now we have a nice little chart in there. We'll go to type and turn off show hidden characters, and you can see now how nice and clean that is. And we would just put it into place on our brochure. And now you have a nice little chart across there. Okay. So those are all the new things that we looked at last week. Clipping mask. Okay. Clipping mask with a graphic with a background that we did a composite shape by using the Pathfinder. Okay. You don't have to use the Pathfinder to make that shape. There's a shape around this guitar as well that's giving it. Now, I didn't go around every nuance of the guitar just because it was a demo, but there you can see where the shape is around the guitar. Okay, right there. I'll make it red. Okay, so the shape around there, it doesn't have to be done with the Pathfinder. You can draw it in manually. All right. But this, using the Pathfinder, made this easy. So we did that. We cropped a photo using the clipping mask. And then we put a text wrap around the photos, and we brought in text and ran it in one column, and then made it jump over to the next page by using the text link. Okay. So that was everything that is involved in this project. The assignment was to go out and find a website for something that you're interested in. It can be a place, and you can do a brochure on a place. It can be an organization, and you can use images from the website to create your brochure in the organization, and grab text off of the website in order to use to make your copy and your text for your brochure. Okay. The rules are that you have to have one of everything we just went over on your brochure. Okay. You need a text wrap. You need a graphic in a clipping mask. You need to make type that runs from one page to the next page using the text link. And you need to use a clipping mask to create, to clean up logos and crop photos for your brochure. Okay. It's all in Canvas, written, and I'll check to make sure that that it's very clear what you need to have included, so that there aren't any questions when it as you're working on it. Okay. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go out to stop the recording.